Hello and welcome to the 2000 Subscriber AMA. Now, I would like to take this opportunity to say thank you for watching, thank you for everybody who has ever tuned into the channel, and thank you for continuing to watch. It's really fun to do this, and I hope that we can keep doing it in the future. So, let's get into some of these questions, because there are quite a lot of questions, and I want to do a little bit of a state of a channel kind of thing at the end, where we'll look at some of the analytics, because people seem to like that last time. So, first question I'm going to answer is, just because it's at the start, it seems to make sense. Hello and welcome, 3 question marks. You must answer this. Well, okay, I will. I don't have to, but I will. So, I'm going to take this as, why do I keep saying hello and welcome? Well, basically, I feel it's good to have a structured thing at the start of a video. It's good to have something that's actually, you know, it's a signal to kind of, this is where the video starts, this is where the video ends, have kind of general things that you say at them. But also, there's one particular reason why I use this phrase. And it's mainly just out of habit and because I used to watch somebody who used a phrase very similar to this quite a lot. So, here we go. Here is Arumba. Let's just listen to his intro.
I'm Arumba, thank you for joining me. Let's play some more CK2.
Right at the start.
Hello.
There we go.
And welcome back. I am Arumba, thank you for joining me.
There you go. Hello and welcome back. That's what Arumba says every time. I used to watch a ton of Arumba. So, that's where that comes from. So, hopefully that answered your question if it didn't. And also, if your question is not answered properly or you feel like you want more information, please just ask me in the comments below. I will do my best to fill in any stuff that I missed. So, let's see what we should do next. How about, where are you from? That seems like a fairly good one. So, I am from Scotland, more specifically Livingston, a small town near Edinburgh. I've lived here pretty much my entire life, and my accent does not fit the area where I live. That's pretty much should answer that question for you. I think we had another one. It may... Oh no, there we go. Here's another one. Where are you from, as in country and province state, and what is your descendants? Well, that's just adding on to the previous one. It also has another part of that which worries me, but I will get into that in a second. I've already told you where I'm from, country and province state. West Lothian, I guess, would be province state. And what's your descendants? On my father's side, it's mostly borders. Going back, there's a little bit of Welsh, a little bit of kind of Kent area, a little bit of Scottish. On my mother's side, it's pretty much all Scottish, pretty much all central, centered around kind of Stirling area. So, hopefully that answered your question. The reason I was saying this question kind of was a little bit frightening is the second part is, and say I theoretically made a shit ton of money selling things I theoretically totally owned, how can I cash it in the bank? Well, that's a weird question because it makes it sound, given that you also asked where specifically do I live, it sounds like you're wanting to rob me. But assuming that these were meant to be 2 separate questions, if you made a lot of money selling things that you totally owned, well, it sounds like you want to do some money laundering there. Funnel your money through a legitimate business. That would be my suggestion. Of course, I did not make this suggestion, and you should not do that. Okay. Next one that we're going to look at, let's go back on this list. What game made you start role-playing? It can be a video game or tabletop. So, let's go into this a little bit more. Role-playing on the channel was actually a fairly new thing. It's been going on about a year for CK2. But I was actually doing Dragon Age a lot earlier than that, and I was doing kind of a role-playing thing there. And I think that was my first attempt at actually doing kind of role-playing in a video game standpoint. I had done a few random tabletop games in the past, but hadn't really, like, they'd been like a session long and didn't really, like, they were really badly done, basically. It was like, oh hey, I've got this book, let's go play some role-playing stuff. Oh, everybody made an overpowered character because the GM doesn't understand the rules. Okay, that's the end of that. There wasn't really any role-playing involved. So in the Dragon Age one, I tried to do a lot of, like, in other RPGs, I tended to not finish them because I wasn't invested enough in the characters. Like, I wouldn't be invested in my character, so I just do whatever min-max made me do the best. So I'd say, it'd be like, I could choose this option, because that would be what my character would choose, but actually, no, I'm not going to choose that. I'm going to choose the option that means that we don't fight anything because, well, that's just a ton better. Like, wouldn't you prefer not to fight anything? That's just, it makes sense, right? If you don't fight anything, then you can just move on through the entire game, get all your experience for the quest, and that's it. But playing in a style where you actually have to, like, okay, I'm going to try and play in the head of this character. It gives you a little bit more, I think it gives you a little bit more interest, at least for a video standpoint, it gives you a lot more interest, because it's like, okay, I'm not going to make the optimal decision. Therefore, if you're the kind of person who makes optimal decisions, like I was and still am when I play kind of off camera, like that gives you a way to see what would happen if you were playing badly. Like basically, it's what kind of cool story things happen because say you attack this person who you had no chance of beating. Well, then you say there's the bit in Dragon Age where you get a bunch of guards coming in at you. And there's far too many. There's like 30 guards. The obvious choice is if you're min-maxing, is just to say, okay, I give up, assume that the game's not going to instantly kill you, and then you just move on with your life. The bad answer is to attack them all, and I believe what happens is you get knocked out in a fight that you can't win, and then you are captured. And that's kind of cool. They both lead to the same place, but you've got a kind of different story arc going on there. There's like, okay, so I lost these guys, I gotta be careful, that sort of thing. I don't know. Anyway, so from that, there was also a series I did a series when Charlemagne came out for CK2, and I had one commenter. He knows who he is, or she knows who he is. He knows who she is. I don't know. I assume it's a he, just naturally based on my channel stats, but, you know, don't want to make assumptions. But they said, hey, you're not very good at, you're not really into role-playing, are you? You're you know, you're basically just doing things that don't make any sense for your character. That kind of comment. And I was like, oh, okay. That's true. And I had this kind of half idea in my head at that moment, like, yeah, but I'll be starting a Game of Thrones series next week where I'll be doing role-playing properly. And then that's where it hit. That series was the Fuzaway series, and the setting was suggested by the same person. They were talking about the Duncan Egg books. And this will lead neatly into the next question. But anyway, they were talking about the Duncan Egg books and how I was like, okay, so what do you have an idea for a character I should play? And they were like, yeah, actually, I think that you should play Raymond Fuzaway. He was just a side character in the books, but when he was first described to me, it was like, Raymond Fuzaway, his cousin had dishonored his family and they fought on opposite sides and there was a feud and there were branches of the family split and then, you know, there was all that kind of cool stuff in there. There's a little bit of tension. And that's where the start of role-playing came in. And that series was really popular. Like, at least for my series. That series was like, it was so much more, there was so much more interest in it. People were like, hey, can I be part of this series? Like, there were people who were saying, hey, I'd like to do some role-playing with you kind of on the edge of this series. I'd like to role-play my character coming into the series, which where Custom Courtiers kind of came in. Because someone's like, can you make me a character in this game? And I was like, sure, I can try that. It seems reasonable. And that's kind of where that led. And we did if you go back and check the comments of a few of those videos when they first get added, there was kind of like actual RP between the characters, and that was cool. I'd like to do more of that, but it was, I imagined scaling that up to like, if I had to do that for, I think we had like 50, 60, that's kind of a low-end estimate custom courtiers for the Ironborn series. If I was to have done like proper RP for each character after every episode, I would have no time to do anything else. So, yeah. So that's where the RP side came in from CK2. And then it just kind of led into it. I was like, okay, this kind of works. This is a new way we can push the channel. We can kind of go directly down there. And we can see how different things would work out. We can see, like, I was like, okay, this is a good way to go. We can just keep going down that route. And that's kind of where we are right now. Role-playing tabletop, I kind of came in from watching a lot of a show called Roleplay. Spell ROLL, then play. It's done by JP, and it's really good. I really recommend you check it out if you're into tabletop stuff, and I can say that with absolute confidence that I really recommend you check it out, because we're not going to have any on the channel, so it's not even it's not like I'm saying watch that instead of our stuff. It's no, like, go watch it, it's really good. There's a whole bunch of them. They've done pretty much, like, if you have a genre of game you want to watch, they're in there. I watched a lot of them. And then, also, I got a friend to watch it. He was like, oh, I'm getting more into role-playing games. And I'm like, okay, check out this. This is really cool. There's a lot of different systems. And there are YouTubers that you're already interested in playing those systems. So that then led into my friend, who is Googlefly, aka Luke. And we then kind of talked a little bit and decided that we would like to do our own version of that kind of show. So we then got together some people. We had our friend Chris come in, and then Luke had two of his friends who did role-playing in IRL verse, the real world, the outside. But they came in, and we did it. And it was pretty good. And that's something I'd like to continue doing in the future. But that's where role-playing kind of came into the channel from all sides. And it's where I started doing main part of kind of role-playing stuff. Okay. Now, I was saying that the Duncan Egg story would kind of lead into the next question, which is, have you read all the books, A Song of Ice and Fire? And if so, who's your favorite character? So, I'm in a weird position where I've read all the Duncan Egg books, and I've read, but I haven't read all of the Song of Ice and Fire books. Basically, what happened is I hadn't read any of the books up to that point. Like, I'd only watched the show because I seriously like the show. I actually think the show, in many ways, is better than the books, but in many ways, it also has some problems. But I like a lot of the things that it changes from the books. At least for a show-wise, it makes a lot of sense. Anyway, we could go into that discussion a lot if we wanted to, but we're not going to. So, have you read all the books? I've read all the Duncan Egg books, and I've read all bar, like, I'm about halfway through A Dance of Dragons, which I think is the last one that's actually released, and Winds of Winter is going to be the next one. I could be wrong. I could have another book in there somewhere. That seems about right. So, I pretty much read them all at this point. So, who is my favorite character? Well, I think I'm going to be minorly boring and say that it's Tyrion. I don't know. I think that's a popular option, actually. I could be wrong. But Tyrion is, like, at least for book-wise, he's my favorite character. Because it's, like, for chapters, it's when I hear, like, the name at the start of the chapter, or when I read it, it's who do I want to see there? Do I want to see Bran? No, I don't. Bran's story is utterly boring. Like, I've actually considered just skipping Bran chapters because I have no interest in Bran whatsoever. He is a boring character, and I will defend that position. But Tyrion, every time I see his name, I'm like, oh, it's going to be an interesting chapter. Some interesting things are going to start. I actually kind of like Jaime as well. The Lannister side, I actually kind of like the characters who have very few redeeming features. I think that's a cool kind of thing. Like, characters who are more bad than good. And that's kind of where I like in a lot of kind of fiction. I like the characters who are not necessarily the good guys. I mean, you can make arguments for Tyrion, but he's done some things that aren't good. Jaime's definitely done some things that aren't good. Cersei's done things that aren't good, but all of them are interesting characters. Even Joffrey, interesting character. I find characters like, like the honorable characters, like the Starks, I find them okay. They're not intensely boring, but they're kind of one-dimensional a lot of the time. There's not a lot of, like, you'll know what they're going to do, generally, in the story. Or at least I do. And I find the characters who are a little bit more dubious in their motives. They're a little bit more interesting. I find them more interesting because they're more unpredictable, for me anyway. Anyway, that's who is your favorite character. I also gave you for free who is my least favorite character. Okay, will you play more a Game of Thrones CK2 as a custom house? What about being a pirate lord? I've been a pirate lord. I've played that. I've played as a pirate. Pirates it's not something I want to go back to. They haven't drastically changed them since last time I played, so I'd prefer to do something else. I am going to play as another custom character, however, and if I just get the thing up behind the screen that you can't see, I have been working on a little thing that we'll quickly show off. It's not finished yet, and it's not quite where I'd like it, but if we remove this image, okay, let's try that again. It went into slideshow mode and moved on to the next image, which was nothing. Very good. There we go. Let's try that one. That didn't help at all. Why is the Windows Photo app so bad? That's another question for another day. Let's just open this with... yeah, let's open it with Photoshop, and it'll be up in a minute. So while that's loading, yes, I'm going to play more as a custom house. I'm thinking the next series is going to be when the new patch comes out, whenever that comes out. I don't want to start it before then, because I have some ideas. I'm going to make it more of a 3-art kind of thing, where we're going to have, like, first arc, I'm going to say I'm looking for, say, I'm looking for third or second sons or daughters of houses, or something like that. And they're all going to be Ryler supporters, or something like that. Well, I mean, I did kind of spoil what this image is going to be, but there we go. There is our kind of thumbnail for just now. I'm not quite happy with where it is, but that is what we're going to go with for the new series. It's going to be a Rylor-focused, kind of more intrigue-focused kind of series. I think it's going to be kind of interesting, and I'm excited to tell you more about that when closer to when the new patch comes out. So we'll just hide that again. Anyway, yes, I am going to play more a Game of Thrones CK2 as a custom house. Not going to be a pirate lord unless they do major changes to pirate lords to make them. Like, my problem with pirate lords is they're not. I don't feel like they're meant to be played because they have so many mechanics that pull them back down. Like, I feel like pirate lords are more meant, like, they're more meant to be AI controlled things. Like, I feel like it punishes you for doing too well, which doesn't feel like something I would want to play. Although it is better than some of the mod where it's too easy. But this one is like, it's anyone. If you do too well at pirating, the whole world will just be like, no, sorry, you can't pirate anymore. Anyway, that's that. Next, go on to the next question. What is your favorite WTF moment in CK2 Vanilla and or any of the mods? I think it has to be. Now I can't remember. I think this was a YouTube one where we did Horse Lords. I think that was there was a moment in that where we had one of our daughters basically just kill off our entire house, and then we ended up playing hers and coming back and taking over everything with our hordes of stuff. That might have been off camera, but I think it was on camera, and that's my favorite. That was my favorite moment because it was just like we went to the pits of despair and then we rose up again. And I think that's a really cool kind of what the fuck. It was like, why do my people keep... I think it was the first time I saw that event as well. It's like, why do my people keep dying? What's happening here? This is not good. This is not good at all, kind of thing. I don't know if there's been that many others. I think maybe in the Fuzzaway campaign where, spoilers, we got absolutely slaughtered in our trial by combat. I think that was something we did. I could be wrong. I may be mixing series together. I've done quite a lot at this point. But getting absolutely slaughtered in trial by combat with a great character was just... I also think, actually, if I remember right, it might have even been the custom character who was added in first. Just completely murdered us. So, yo, that was pretty good. That was a good what the fuck moment. Okay, other questions. Might as well keep it on the CK2 questions for just now. Would you want to do multiplayer with subs at some point? Maybe like CK2 game or Total War, anything. Yeah, I would like to do multiplayer at some point. I am actually, I'm thinking about ways to do it, but right now, I don't really want to do a Discord, like, what I could do right now if I want to do multiplayer, my main option is Discord, set a time, open a Discord, say, everybody come in here, we'll play for like an hour and that'll be it. I don't have a lot of time to set. I don't have huge blocks of time to set aside for this for like multiplayer stuff. Like if I'm playing with people I know, I'm better at like I'd feel better about just ditching it halfway through. I'd be like, hey, I need to go, see ya. But if I'm doing it with people who are actual viewers, people who are investing in the channel, I don't want to just, it would feel like it would be, I don't want to get off on the wrong foot, and I feel like it would be bad to like go, hey guys, we're going to do this thing. Oh, sorry, I need to go. You guys have fun by yourselves. It feels a little bit odd, you know what I mean? So I need a better, like currently my living space is not very good for that. If I move from where I currently am, it will actually help the channel a lot because I'll have higher upload because I can't get lower upload, at least not around here. And I will also be able to be more structured in how my days are, so I'll be able to say, actually, I can take these 3 hours, say, and I can go away and do that. And if we could do it also in a stream, that would just be perfect, because what I'd then be able to do is I'd be able to go, okay, we're going to stream for 3 hours. Even if you don't get into the game, you can still watch. Even if you don't own the game, you can still watch. Like, you can still be a part. You can still talk and chat. You can, there can be some back and forth. I feel that would be a much better way of doing this. But I don't feel like currently I can do it, but I do want to do it at some point. It says maybe CK2 or Total War. I can tell you it's not going to be Total War, because I'm really, really, really bad at that game. Any of them. For some reason, Total War just, there's a block there. I could probably get past it, but what I've heard, it's not necessarily, like, some people think it's alright, and some people don't. So, I'm not sure if it's worth getting past the block to, like, I'm not really into RTS. I'm more into turn-based. You'd be more likely to see me playing Civ than you would to see me playing Total War. And, also, I am kind of interested in Civ 6 and may check it out. We'll see. We may do a I'm very bad at Civ 6 kind of series. Anyway, CK2? Possibly, yeah. The problem with CK2 is that its multiplayer is a pile of garbage. It's got better, but it's not good. Like, it's likely to have disconnects, and I'm not sure how to deal with that. I would have to do it a few times to test it out, but it could be alright. Probably another type of game that might fit well would be like just a kind of separate, like something that's not necessarily something that's on the channel, but maybe something like Quiplash or Fibbage from the Jackbox Party Packs, that sort of thing, where you can have an audience in and you can have players in the game, and then you can, it's more of a getting to know each other kind of thing. It's a little bit more casual, a little bit more social. I don't know, that could work pretty well. But yes, at some point, but not now. I don't want to say a time scale, because that's going to lead to people maybe saying, you know, are you going to do this soon? But I would say 6 months is not that unreasonable, that sometime in the next 6 months I would attempt to do something like this. Would probably be in the new year, unless things drastically change within the next couple of months. We'll see. Okay, so I think we finished all the CK2 questions. Now we're on to religion and politics. Do you believe in his noodliness, the almighty flying spaghetti monster? I'm sorry to say I have not yet been touched by his noodly appendage. The next one is, who would win in a fight? Trump, Clinton, Johnson, or the other one? Now, I don't know much about the American politics, at least in terms of fighting. I'm not sure which one is going to win. I would say, from what I've heard from the news and many articles, Trump and Clinton are about to drop dead any second. At least that's what I've heard. Which pretty much leaves it between Johnson and the other one. Now, I looked these two up. So it's Jill Stein versus Gary Johnson, I think. One was a track person who then went in to be a handyman. And the other one was a researcher and a doctor. So you're saying whether a book person is going to beat a kind of muscle person. I would say Johnson's probably going to win, being the muscle person. That's just my logic for that kind of thing. I don't know. What type of fight is it? Do they get weapons? Are they allowed time to prepare? If they're allowed time to prepare, then maybe book person wins. If it's like, if there are different requirements, like if they have to go achieve a task or something in this fight, like, I don't know, if they're allowed allies in this fight, I don't know. I don't know what this fight entails. Is this like super fight? Is the floor lava? Because in which case it'd all probably draw. I don't know. It's a tough question. I have no idea. Anyway, we're gonna move on to kind of the state of the channel thing, which is something that I haven't really prepared for, but we'll do anyway. So, what you've got up here is my analytics for this year, so 2016. So it's not quite as long since the last. I think this is. I'm trying to remember where this would be. Maybe we did the 1,000 subscriber Q&A sooner than I thought we did. Like maybe it was closer to this than I thought it was. But anyway, this is just the whole year, which is pretty good to look at. So, watch time has gone up, average view time's gone up, views have gone up. You can see my average, my estimated revenue for this year, which seems like that's some money. Actually, you can look at this small figure here, this 53.91. This is actually 0 currently, because I need to hit a threshold before they'll pay out, so that's why estimated revenue is kinda... It's there-ish, but it's going to take like another year to get that money, so it's not like it's actually money I can invest in the channel right now. Anyway, you don't need to worry about that. It's not a worry. Likes have gone up, dislikes have gone up, but that's because more people have viewed the channel. It's that simple. Comments have gone up, shares, everything's gone up. It's all good, it's all up. So, what do I think's particularly good about this, and what do I think's kind of bad about this? Well, I think the average view duration going up. Now, you'll notice that actually the average view duration recently is tilted down and it's kind of gone up, but it's kind of the same as the watch time and the views-ish. Basically, I think the average watch time going up is good. It's showing that the content is better for, like, I think the video length maybe went down, and the average view duration has gone up, so you're watching a higher percentage of each video, which is a good thing. That's definitely a very, very good thing. Now, if we look at watch time and views, you'll see something right here, which is a little anomaly. This, basically, we had points in the channel where I think that the channel has been overperforming for a while. Like, I think that in terms of views and things, I had a bit where I was riding on a wave and was able to stay above, and it's kind of come down a little bit, but we'll hopefully go back up again. Like, I think it was kind of around here, we had, like, Warhammer series starting, we had a whole bunch of Game of Thrones series starting, there was a new patch, and then it kind of went up, 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 and then the series went on too long and it went down. I think I maybe had a week break in there as well, and then it's restabilizing. But yeah, we overperformed at certain sections, which is fine. It's good that the channel overperformed, because it gave a lot more access. Basically, what I see each of these spikes are, these is a lot more people were exposed to the channel, and then they were able to, like, say 10% of those people subscribed. They didn't, but say 10% of them subscribed. That then means that, like, the average will push up slightly. So I think that we're just getting back down to where the average should be, and then we can start to work to move the... Like, if we look over time, like, if we go to lifetime of the channel, we'll see here, once it loads, that actually, we've gone... Like, our average is kind of around here. This line is where the average is, and we're kind of moving up. Like, it's sort of moving up. It goes in waves, and it's basically a lot of it's on what time of the year your videos are up. Like, people watch a lot less at, say, start of school time because they don't have a lot more. They've lost all their free time that they had. People watch less during, like, holidays where they have to go and be with their family, that sort of thing. So I feel like waves are fine as long as it kind of waves up the way, like this. You can still see, you can see my mouse cursor. So it kind of goes up like that. That's fine. Anyway, thought that was interesting to look at in terms of a kind of thought. I think at this point I was thinking things were going badly with the channel, and this is where I kind of did a little bit of a revamping what we did. We ditched Alpha Protocol, we moved in RimWorld, which is doing alright. RimWorld's not doing fantastically. RimWorld's doing fine. It's just, I feel like new games are a thing that we need. And I think that the Something Different series I'm gonna try and get more consistent on. I think that's really, really good for the channel because it lets me see what else you might be interested in. Like Democracy 3, I wasn't thinking it was going to do that well on the channel, but people are into it. Therefore, I can say, okay, things that are similar to Democracy 3, if I see anything that pops up and I'm like, oh, that's pretty similar, I can probably put that on the channel and be assured that there will be people who'll be interested in it. While before, when I only had like CK2 and one RPG series, that was that's really not a good structure for a channel because it's showing no new games. So if you become less interested in the CK2 content, there is nothing else for you to go towards. So I think that's useful. Subscribers kind of being constant. I think that's the thing we should. Constant subscribers here. I don't actually care that subscribers aren't going up on like this graph. Like I want views and watch time to go up. Subscribers staying constant is fine because that's constantly positive subscribers. I'm not hitting any negatives on subscribers, so I'm always getting more than I am losing, which means the channel is growing. The growth may not be as fast as I want it to be at certain points, but it is growing. Also, I'm just looking here. What the hell was this spike in videos and playlists? I think that might have been me deciding that I needed to add a whole bunch of stuff to playlists and that I didn't have. Anyway. Comments going up as well is something I'm very happy, and I like that, particularly for this kind of video where I can say, hey, I have a question. Or can I get your questions? That sort of thing. If I have a poll, I can say, hey, here's a poll of stuff. Go answer it. Tell me what you want to see on the channel. That's a much better way of doing it as well. I think having people telling you what's on the channel is definitely good. I also just noticed on dislikes, some of these I got negative dislikes. So people came back to the videos later and were like, no, actually I kind of like that. That's kind of weird. Anyway, let's have a look at my top 10 videos thing, because this is interesting as well. So, watch time. The Jon Snow series is top, which is kind of weird, but I get it. Jon Snow's a very popular character. Jon Snow series was also quite good. It was kind of a little bit different. I like that. Then we actually get Corrupting Cultists and Hapless Humans. Now, you might be saying, which is a fair thing to say, that, oh, these things are very high up. Why don't you keep doing Warhammer? Why do you think that Warhammer is not necessarily the best direction to go? Well, here's the problem with it. Hapless Humans is here. Corrupting Cultists is here. Ratmen is here, and Nauseating Nurglites are down. Like, they're further down, and they're, like... It's basically, the more Warhammer series I did, it was like diminishing returns. Each one I did was less popular than the previous one, which made me think that people actually weren't that, like, people were interested in seeing the Warhammer mod, but after a certain point, they were just bored of it. They wanted to see something else, which is why I'm trying to do some other mods, because I think that's a better way of dealing with the problem. I think it's, we can come back to the Warhammer mod later once it's had some updates, and it's like, oh, it's the new, fresh Warhammer mod. And we can start to talk about some of the differences from the previous version, some of what I remember, some of the optimization that makes it a little bit easier to play, some of that stuff. It gives you more to talk about, which is the thing I've been having problems with in the Crusader King series, the Game of Thrones series, where I've been having trouble with actually talking, like, I'm having trouble thinking of new things to do that aren't just the old thing. Like, I've tried doing things like the Tywin series where we're not really playing a character who's directly interacting with anyone. We're playing a character who is playing for his house, but it's kind of it's taking a back role. It's watching the events play out and trying to capitalize on them. Like, trying to play different play styles, I think, is probably a way around it. Or in the RP series, trying to be a trying to play a different style, like the Ironborn were very much they were meant to be, we are Ironborn, we will go out raiding, we will go everywhere, we will do things, we'll attack. And, well, the Fosway series was, we're quite reasonable people. We're just gonna sit here. If an event appears that we can take advantage of, we might not, depends. Might just sit for a whole generation just learning about books. which we did actually, which in hindsight probably wasn't the best content, but that's like, I'd want to play a different style. Like the next series I'm planning on doing is going to be an intrigue style series where we play, just to give a bit of info on it, we're going to play a little bit more towards like the custom courtiers. I'm not planning on originally having in our court. I'm planning on having them in different courts and then actively trying to help them, which I think might be a more interesting series, and I may have given away the central premise of that here. Anyway, so yeah, Jon Snow series, pretty popular. There's 3 in the top 10 videos, which is crazy. Also, Daenerys, this series is pretty old, but it's still reasonably getting a lot of watch time. Watch time is sometimes more useful than views, because it says that people continue to watch after a certain point. Also, number 1, House Serpentale one. Its views are a little inflated because people kept coming back for comments, which is why its views are so much higher than the ones around it. But like, it's still alright. Let's look at views, see how it changes. It doesn't change that much, but there are some big ones, like the tutorial video manually installing a Stellaris mod. Let's talk about this video. This video led to a lot of, I'm trying to think of a nice way to put it. It made me hate commenters for that video. No, you guys are great, and none of you would have been the person who annoyed me in this video, or many of you. But basically, every time I got a comment on that video, what it was, hey, my Stellaris mod doesn't work. What version do you have on Steam? I don't have it on Steam, I actually pirated it. Oh, so you mean your Stellaris mod doesn't work because you pirated the wrong version of the game, you idiot. And I'm like, I'm not gonna help you fix your pirated game. Like, it's not that difficult to pirate a game if you want to. I'm against it, but like, it's not difficult to do. I have actually done it for Knights of the Old Republic, which I own. It just, you need a pirated version of the game to apply patches to, because of DRM and stuff. But yeah, it's like, I disabled comments on that video after a certain point just because I didn't want to deal with having people asking constantly for why is my mod not working? Oh, it's because I'm pirating the game. Like, I don't know. Also, its watch time is particularly low because it's a very short video. I may do more videos like that in the future, but I'm probably not going to do that many more. I thought it might be a cool way to get some more exposure for the Stellaris series that I was doing, because I thought, hey, if I have a tutorial series, they might be like, oh, well, let's see what the gameplay's like. That's the main reason I did that video, was to be like, hey, it's a very quick video, I know how to do it, maybe, you know, someone else, like, maybe that'll bring some more people into the channel, and it may well have brought people into the channel. But, yeah, I think in hindsight, it wasn't the best. Also, the video wasn't fully, like, there were bits in the video I would have redone. I really like if YouTube had a way to, like, put an update to your video. Like, if you were to, say, patch in a new bit of content to it. See, like, actually, after doing some research, this is also relevant. It'd be really useful for tutorial videos as well, because you'd be like, I could say something and then be actually like, oh no, they changed this last patch and this is now incorrect, but I don't want to have to re-render the entire video, re-upload the entire video to fix it. Instead of a little annotation, just being able to go like, just be able to record a tiny bit of video and slip it in. That'd be really nice. I could see how it could be abused. It could lead to videos that are really, really popular and get a lot of views each day being replaced with videos that are just advertising or something. Or like trying to get around YouTube's rules. So I see why YouTube doesn't want to do it, but I think that could be really cool. Anyway, for views, we actually get Communist Portugal sneaks in there just a little bit. But have a look at this. Here's the watch time for the first Communist Portugal video. Here's the watch time for the Jon Snow video. This is Jon Snow number 1. So this was different part of the same series. This one, roughly the same views, like there's 200 view difference, but there's a 23,000 like watch time difference, like minutes difference. That's huge. That tells me that actually people weren't that into me playing Hearts of Iron 4. which is fair, because I wasn't very good at Hearts of Iron 4, and I'm still not very good at Hearts of Iron 4, and there were many issues with that series. Also, I experienced a lot more bugs than was typical, apparently. Anyway, so yeah, that's why I haven't come back to Hearts of Iron. It's also why I haven't come back to Stellaris, because you'll notice that Stellaris, where is it? It's not in the views, it's not in the watch time, it's just not here at all. Stellaris is a series that we're probably not going to come back to unless there's like a major mod I want to play for it. It's just... Stellaris isn't very good. Like, the game's alright. The early game for Stellaris is actually top-notch. And then it just stops. Like, there's just a certain point where it just stops being interesting. Which is worrying. Same with Hearts of Iron. Although Hearts of Iron keeps it going a little bit longer, there are parts of Hearts of Iron, like the setup, the preparing for... Like, I feel the tension before the war in Hearts of Iron is really good. And the war itself is a little subpar. But, like, I think if you were to start Hearts of Iron on the 1939 bookmark, you would just... It would not be the same... Like, it would not be a fun game. If you were to start on the 1936 one, like I always have, it's... It means that you're not, like, jumping straight into the war. You're actually, there's planning, there's a whole bunch of tension, like, oh, what front do I need to be worried about? You know, you don't need to be worried about any of them. The AI is not very good, but it added some tension to the game. And same with Stellaris. There was, like, this feeling of exploration, which kind of got lost and turned into EU4. EU4, by the way, is also not coming back to the channel. I don't think I like EU4 as much as I like CK2. I don't think I like EU4 as much as I like Hearts of Iron and Stellaris. Given what I've just said about Hearts of Iron and Stellaris, you can probably get the rest of my opinion on EU4. EU4 is very much like a is very gay. It's very gamey. Like, it's got a very gamey feel, which is a weird way of describing, but you know what I mean? It's a very it's almost like Risk kind of feel. Like, it's a game that's it's very much like, here's a mechanic that makes no sense, but it's in there because this is a game. Like, it doesn't link the gameplay with the mechanics well, in my opinion. Like, I think it's a fine game that you could play. I think it's also probably better in multiplayer with another person. I don't think playing it solo is necessarily the kind of experience I want anymore. I think at one point this was the experience I wanted from a game, but I think it doesn't fit in as well as what I would want it to be. Like, I think EU4 I don't know what could bring me back to EU4 at this point. Like, I don't feel like there's anything that I want out of the game that's really actually going to continue. Like, I don't think I would ever come back with the current direction the game's going. I think there's a chance I'd come back to Stellaris, especially as its mods look very cool. Like, a Star Wars mod could be something that would bring me back. It could draw me in. We could have maybe a Star Wars month on the channel where we play, like, Knights of the Old Republic and Stellaris and really go hard on that. We're really cool, but it doesn't seem that, like... I could also come back to Hearts of Iron 4 as well if it had a piece of DLC that really brought it up to the next level. But it doesn't seem like it fits in as well for the channel now. I think the new focus for the channel, going more narrative focused in their games, fits a lot better. And I think having, like, that one CK2 series where I min-max helps a lot as well, because it gives us kind of like it's like a testing ground for mods. It's like, okay, is this mod good enough to have an RP series? And I'm not sure if we're gonna, so far no other mod has been like at the level that I would want. Like, no other mod has been at the level of Game of Thrones mod, for me anyway. I think Elder Kings is alright, but I think it's too easy. Like, I think even though Game of Thrones is easy, it gives you other things to do. While Elder Scrolls mod, if you're not in combat, to me feels like it's kinda not got another layer. It's got a combat layer, and then it's not got, like, the intrigue layer. It's just base CK2. Base CK2 is not bad, but if it's just base CK2, why am I not playing base CK2 with, because it's on the latest patch, and this is not in the latest patch. Like, the Elder Kings is not in the latest patch. So, that's where I'm at there with that kind of series. So, let's move on from that kind of talk, because that went on a little bit long. Demographics. This is just kind of interesting. I think you'd like to look at them. So, United States, fairly obvious, big English-speaking country. United Kingdom, big English-speaking country. Canada, big English-speaking country. Then Germany and Sweden, which, you know, kind of makes a little bit of sense. Like, I would imagine Sweden, Paradox games are made in Sweden. I would imagine they were made because, like, I imagine it's the kind of place where you'd see a lot more people from Sweden watching, because it's a, like, the people who made these games have come from a similar upbringing from the people who are, like, from the they came from Sweden. So it's the similar upbringing, the similar ideas. They probably brought in some concepts that are familiar. I don't know if that's a thing, but that would be my assumption. I don't know. That's my assumption. I know why Portugal is number 6, though, which is why I went a little bit further into here. I'm 100% sure Portugal is number 6 because I did a Hearts of Iron series on Portugal. That would be my guess. I could be wrong, but it wasn't there before I did the Hearts of Iron series, and it was there after. So, I have no idea about how to use these analytics to my advantage. Am I meant to just go for... Like, I have no idea how to use these analytics at all, but I know that someone better than me could use them. But it's kind of interesting. You can also go like, oh, okay, so not many people watch from New Zealand, but the people who do watch with YouTube Red, and they have a high average view duration. So maybe I'm doing something that appeals to the people from New Zealand, but also the views aren't that high, so I'm making kind of generic claims about an entire group of people without anything to back them up. So there's not really much I can actually use there, but it's still interesting to look at. Gender, this is kind of typical ratios for YouTube, just in general for YouTube gaming. That's kind of where it goes. Playback locations is interesting because now it's 100% basically watch page. It used to be something like 60% watch page, and now it's like, no, everybody, like nearly everybody who's watching is on the watch page. If you're not, it's a bit it's not really fitting in, which is kind of interesting. I wonder whether YouTube made some changes to make the watch page more interesting. I always watch things on the watch page, but I don't know. I wonder whether YouTube did some big changes. And then traffic sources. Let's go a little bit into this. So, most people come from suggested videos. We can actually go even further into this, which is kind of cool. We can go one more deep. And that brings us into, like, so pretty much everybody who watches a video, like most people, like 30%, I think it is, isn't it? That's not everybody. That's actually not even that high percent. I need to go one more out to get percentages back. Yeah, 33%. So most people who watch a video have watched another video and liked it and come here. Playlists, same thing. They have watched another video they like and they want to watch the series. Browse features? I forget what those are. So those are like, alright, so those are like people have watched from the subscription page or something, or from their homepage. So this is basically people who like the channel have watched from that, like, watched from there. No big deal. YouTube channels? Actually, I'm interested in this one as well. Oh, what a shock. Most people have watched me from my own YouTube channel. Then we got my own YouTube channel with different capitalization. Then we get like Demosa's Quest, who I've heard of. We've got 42, Gabriel Fan 27. I do know him. I know quite a few of these names. Euro Football Daily? Really? Why was my video even recommended to that? Like, to that channel? That's a very weird place. Anyway, I'll look at that later on my own. And then we get like YouTube search and things, which are fairly simple. They're just like, they're what people are searching for. See, there you go. Hearts of Iron 4 Portugal. I guess I must have a very high up thing on the search for that. That'd be my guess. Seems kind of fair. Hearts of Iron 4, I'd imagine most people will be playing as one of the major nations, which might be an idea for a new game, for new series of those games that come out. So, say we have a new, let's say we have I'm trying to think if we could a new Hearts of Iron DLC want to come back. It might be a good idea to play as a nation that isn't so much seen. Maybe that could be something I could look at. But I don't generally use these analytics too much. I think it's still it's cool to look at and cool to look at once every now and then. Most people search for things like Crusader Kings 2 and name, which is kind of there. Anyway, we've rambled on far too long. Anything else that you'd want to look at here? Not really anything else that I think's that interesting. Yeah, nothing that's that interesting. Kind of looked through most of it, but yeah, that's the channel. Where are we gonna go in the future? Well, I think we're gonna keep going in the direction that we're going. I think that we're tending upwards. I think that I need to get better at ending series. I think that we have. I think 100 episodes for a series is far too long. I think the best length for a series is like, depending on it, maybe between 20 and 40 episodes. Depending. I think that's the best length. Maybe even 15 to 45 if we want to stretch it out to the other side of it. Like I think that probably like a RimWorld maybe would be like a 25, 30 episode thing. A CK2 generally, like if it's like a Game of Thrones one, would be like a 20 episode thing. I think if it's like a big series, like if I'm going to make another Ironborn series, it's going to be massive. Like for the next series, I'm planning it being 45 episodes plus 5 episodes spare if we need to do if we need to extend it. I think that's a better way of doing it, rather than it's just gonna last 100. It's gonna last how long it lasts. That leads to people not being interested. Like you can actually check here in my video manager, and you'll see some videos that are probably out already or have their other names. There we go. Let's have a look. We're looking for the last CK2 Ironborns, like the kind of end of the CK2 Ironborn stuff. Okay, one more over. You're getting a deep view into my videos here. There we go. Here are the last 2 episodes. They're like 129, 153 views, which is pretty bad, because if we go down and look at Elder Kings 13, 277. So that means, in my eyes, that yeah, there was 130 views, but double the people want to watch Elder Kings. Now, I don't think that's because Elder Kings is more popular than the Game of Thrones mod. Game of Thrones mod has plenty of views, you can see. I think it's because this particular series went on too long and it had too large a burden to watch the rest of it. Like it's the series was so structured in its kind of story that if you were to try and jump in on like episode 75, you'd be like, what is happening here? Who are these people? Why do I care about these? Like, what's going on? But if you were to jump into like episode 5 of Elder Kings, it's like, oh, I can work out what's going on. He's only done 5 episodes. It's not like he's gone that far off the deep end. So it's just I think that going too long makes it harder for people who are new to be in the series, and harder for people who are previously watched to keep up. Like, because 5 videos a week's a lot to catch up on, and if you want to watch the new series, like, say you were watching the Ironborn series, and as it was going, you're like, oh, I really like Elder Kings, I really like the Tywin series, I really like the Joffrey series, I really like the Aegon series, and then you just stop watching the Ironborn series, and then you're like, oh, I've stopped watching that. Do I want to go back and do that? Nah, let's see what's on Netflix today. You know, it's not a good way. It's too long for it to be useful. Anyway, that I think will be the end of my ramble, and thank you for watching this video. It's been about an hour long. If you've got to this point, congratulations, you have done well, and I would thank you for watching the channel as a whole. I hope that we can do more of this in the future. I hope that the channel keeps growing. Yeah, there's not really a problem with any kind of stuff for the channel right now. But there could be a point in the future where I need to lower the number of videos I output, because I put out quite a lot a day, and I have a lot of spare time in which to do that in during the days. but that could change in the future. You can probably work out reasons why, but we'll go into that in a different video if we ever feel the need to. But yeah, there's yeah, that's about it. Thank you for watching. See you next time. Goodbye.